Hey everyone, so it's been requested in a lot of my videos that I make a video on how I meal plan for the week. So whenever you guys request something, I always try to deliver as much as possible, and this week I'm bringing to you all my meal planning video. You don't have to be super organized, or wait, maybe you actually do have to be super organized in order to properly meal plan. The reason why I meal plan is because it kind of helps me budget my money, and it also lets me know when I need to start stocking up on certain supplies inside the house. It also helps me stick within my healthy lifestyle or my healthy eating plan, because I do have a certain amount of calories that I try to meet a day, as well as a certain amount of macronutrients that I try to meet a day. So for all of you asking, I am going to let you know that you do need a couple of things in order to start meal planning. The first thing that you need are your circulars from your various grocery stores. And I have these circulars from the grocery stores that are around my area. I also have a notepad that I like to use to write down the things that I already have in my home, as well as the things that I need to buy for the week or for the month. And then lastly, what you're going to need are recipes. I use my ToneItup meal plan. I also use the internet, allrecipes.com. I use Pinterest a lot to come up with different plans. So after I've gathered all my supplies, the first thing that I do before I start meal planning is I look in my cupboards, my freezer, my fridge, and any containers that I have in the house to figure out what I already have on hand. And I'm going to insert a clip right now just showing you a couple of weeks ago what I had in my pantry, in my freezer, and in my fridge. And what I did was I went through it all and I wrote down exactly what it was that I had. So I apologize if the lighting isn't that great in my kitchen, but I have my pad here ready, and I'm over here at my first cupboard. So this is where I keep all my canned goods. So as you can see, I try to look to see what I already have and the things that I use mainly to stick within my macros, which are my proteins, my carbs, and my fats. So I can tell already that I have a lot of tuna. So I have, let's see, I have 11 cans of tuna. So what I do is I write down canned tuna. Okay. Then I can see that I have 1 can of kidney beans and I have 1 can of tomato sauce. So I write that down as well. Alright, so that's everything that I have in here. Next, I move on to basically my grains. I look in my grains. I have a huge tub of oatmeal, so I don't need to buy oatmeal, but I will write down that I have oatmeal. And then I also have a huge tub of whole grain pasta. So like those are 2 carb sources that I have right there. I also have some rice and I have cream of wheat. So I'm pretty much all set in the carb department. If I wanted to, I could buy some sweet potatoes, which I probably will, just to give myself a little bit of variety. But for the most part, I am kind of all set in the carb department. But I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put down that I have about 4 cups of rice. Then I have pasta. And I have oatmeal. Then I move on to my freezer, because this is where all of my veggies come in. So I have some green peppers here, some spinach. This is all Elvis things. I have some California blend veggies. I also have some frozen onions and peppers, frozen broccoli, green beans, and I have another bag of California blend. Those veggies will probably last me a week and a half if I'm honest, but I'm going to put down here, so that's something that I'm going to need to buy, but I'll put down here that I have about 4 bags of frozen veggies. All right, then I move on to my fridge, which is empty. I basically just have Tupperware containers in here. I know for a fact that this is where I usually keep my potatoes and things, and I have nothing in there. And then in here is where I keep like my lettuce and my tomato, and I have some carrots in here. So I have one container of yogurt left, so I will write that down. And then I'll take a look. I'm gonna try to not eat as much cheese, but I do have a little bit left, so I'm gonna use that. We have some butter and some Philadelphia cream cheese, but I mean we're pretty much all set in the condiment department, so I'm not too concerned about that. But this is basically what I have to work with right now. I have tuna, beans, tomato sauce, rice, pasta, oatmeal, frozen veggies, and yogurt. So as you can see, the things that I need the most of are proteins and vegetables. So this was my list from a few weeks ago. And during that time, I had 11 cans of tuna, I had kidney beans, tomato sauce, I had rice, pasta, oatmeal, I had frozen vegetables, I had one yogurt left, and I had breadcrumbs left. So once I have all that stuff written down, once I know what I already have in the house, what I do is I try to figure out what I can make that's within my healthy lifestyle with the things that are already in my house. So what I do sometimes is on allrecipes.com, you can actually type in different ingredients and it'll give you recipes with the ingredients that you have on hand. So for example, if you only have pasta and tuna, for example, in your pantry, you can type in tuna and pasta, and allrecipes.com will only give you recipes that have those two ingredients in it, which is sweet because now you can create, you know, either a lunch idea or a dinner idea based on the recipes that allrecipes.com gave you. Something that I also like to do is, for example, I mean, I have a lot of tuna in my house because it's just really easy, so that's why I keep using tuna as an example. But for, let's say I had 4 ounces of chicken. What I might do is I will look through my ToneItup recipe binder. I also have the newer version on my computer, and I'll type in or I'll look up recipes that contain chicken. And I'll try to find different things that I want to eat that week or that I want to make in bulk to have for the week. And I'll start writing down the ingredients that I don't have at home that I can make with the chicken. So I'll start writing down my little recipe idea. So for example, I had pasta, so I was thinking maybe I can make a pasta salad. I can make a chicken stir fry. For breakfast, I really like to have oatmeal and eggs. I really like Dominican spaghetti, and I already had pasta on hand at home, and I had a can of tomato, so all I really needed was onions because I was out of onions. But I had written down that I wanted to make a tuna sandwich. So I had tuna at home, but I didn't have bread. I had tuna and a rice stir fry. I had tuna, I had rice, but I didn't have the vegetables to make the stir fry. So again, I just start writing down meal ideas from allrecipes.com or from my ToneItup recipe binder, and I start, you know, breaking down the things that I want to eat for that particular week. The next step is to write down all the ingredients that I still need to go out and buy in order to complete the meal ideas that I have written down. So this is where my grocery list comes in handy. So far, just to recap, so far I've written down a things on hand list. So things that are already inside my pantry. Then I've gone either to allrecipes.com or to my ToneItup recipe binder, and I've written down meals that I want to make with some of the things that I already have on hand. And then the last list that I make is my actual grocery list for things that I need to complete those meals that I've written down. So a few weeks ago I made that list. And because I wanted eggs and oats for breakfast, I still needed to buy eggs because when I looked in my fridge or in my pantry, the only thing I had was oatmeal. So I needed eggs in order to complete that meal. So I wrote down eggs. I said I wanted to make a chicken stir fry, if you recall from my meal idea list, but I didn't have chicken. So I wrote down that I needed chicken. I wanted to make fish and rice or a fish stir fry, so I needed tilapia. In order to make the stir fry, I needed frozen vegetables, which I didn't have, so I wrote down frozen vegetables. So I wrote down a list of everything that I needed to buy at the grocery store. Once I've written all of this down, what I do is I start looking at the circulars for the different grocery areas or grocery stores in my area. So I literally will just go through and compare the prices for the different items that I need to buy in order to complete those meals between the different grocery stores. So for example, Stop and Shop has chicken for $1.99, while one of the other local stores in my area has chicken for $2.49. Obviously, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the chicken at Stop and Shop because I can get more for less amount of money. So what I do in order to organize myself is next to the chicken, I'll write Stop and Shop so that I know that I need to go to Stop and Shop in order to get that particular item. And then what I try to estimate exactly how much I'm going to be spending, so I'll like add up the totals of each of the different items. I'll write down the items. So for example, the eggs, I know that I can get eggs at Walmart. I can get up to five dozen eggs for $7.99 at Walmart. So I'll write down eggs, Walmart, $7.99. Chicken, Stop and Shop, $1.99 a pound, and I'll figure out how many pounds I want. So we'll say that I'll get 5 pounds of chicken. So then I'll do 5 times $1.99, and then at the end of the whole grocery list, I will add up the total amount of money that I am estimating that I'll spend, and I try to see if it's within my budget. I try to grocery shop 2 times a month, so every 2 weeks, just because it's easier for me and I can do more with $50 than I can with $25. In my mind, that's the way I think of it, but that's exactly how I meal plan. The final thing that I do is I will write my meals inside of a weekly meal planning list. And all I do, literally all I do, is take the meals that I've created on this particular list and I start plugging them in to each of the days in each of the meals. This particular calendar that I have, I got off of moneysavingmom.com. I'll put the link down below to that website. And this goes from Sunday through Saturday, and it has breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. I have 5 meals a day, so what I do is I just split the lunch in half so that I can get one more little meal slot in there. But I literally just plug everything in. And then I just use my meal plan to stick to my diet. I will either cook in bulk and have everything in individual containers, or every day I'll take a look at my meal plan and I'll say, oh, today's Sunday, I was gonna have tuna and a pasta salad for lunch, and I'll go ahead and I'll make that because I know I have it on hand. And that's basically it. It's super simple. It keeps you organized, and it really does help with losing weight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will try to answer them as best as possible. Make sure you check out my blog, GirlBudgetLife.com, where I'll have more details in regards to how I meal plan. If you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, make sure that you subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Bye!